I'm here with Peter Vecsey, someone, I grew up watching every day, cover the NBA, member of the Naismith Hall of Fame. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me. I wanted to kind of start. I know we had connected a little bit about your coverage of Providence, especially in the 70s and the Big East. Some great times, obviously, in that conference, but specifically with that Providence team and Gavitt and Ernie D and Marvin Barnes. Just a couple stories you may have or what you remember about that time and that team.
Well, I mean, it was not only Providence I was following in those days as a reporter and as just a basketball fan. Going to the Garden and the electricity in that building for a week's worth of games was just unbelievable. I'm sorry, it doesn't have the impact that it once had. They don't have the talent that they once had, but money will do that and get teams to jump conferences. But so in those days, I just loved the way Ernie DiGregorio played, and so I he was a focus of mine, and and still is to this day. We stay in touch, and he's told me stories over time that I don't know. Some of them I can tell you, but watching him play, everybody talked about Pete Maravich, and geez, Ernie D could handle the ball equally well. And then had a great rookie year in the NBA, won Rookie of the Year, and he was the best free throw shooter in the NBA that year. And I don't know if it was the second or the third year when he injured his knee, and he was never the same after that. If they had the surgeries that they have today, he would have been back playing, but he couldn't afford to lose a step because he only had a half step to begin with. He was slow, but yeah, so Ernie also we got tight because when he came out of Providence, so the ABA was really in pursuit of him, as they were many guys coming out. But and remember, Kentucky Colonels wanted him badly. So and he thanks me to this day. I really pumped him up. Oh man, ABA is going to get him, And he he got paid big time money by Buffalo to come to the NBA, and overpaid him. In fact, a lot of veterans in the NBA, specifically Jerry West, was pissed off that this guy didn't do it, hadn't done anything. He's going to get more money than he was making. And I remember Ernie and I did. Ernie came on my show. I was working for NBA TV. He came in the studio, and he picked up a nickname, Ernie No D. And so the first time that he had played against Jerry West, West went after him, just killed him. He scored like 35 points. And I brought that up on the telecast. And Ernie said to me, "Oh, well, hold on a second, hold on a second. So you're telling me that I'm the only one that Jerry West scored 35 on? Is that what you're trying to tell me?" So it's like his kind of humor is just so funny. He always cracks me up. He told me a story about. I know I'm not talking about Providence, but I'm talking about Ernie. And so he told me a story years ago that he was invited over to a friend's house, probably up in Providence area, and Sugar Ray Leonard was there. But he didn't tell Sugar Ray who this kid was that's coming over. This little guy coming over to,
Yeah.
let's play some basketball. So they went out and played 1-on-1. And Ernie's got Sugar down about 16-0, and he's pissed, and he's
Uh,
pissed. And he said, after we finish this game, he said, well, now we're gonna do my sport. We're gonna do some boxing. And Ernie said, the score ended up about 21-16. He said he definitely lightened up on Sugar Ray Leonard. But that's Ernie. Ernie's always got
yeah.
great stories. Everybody talk. We mentioned Barnes being on that team. Kevin Staken was on that team also. And still, I believe, is a scout in the NBA. And he was a terrific player, terrific guard. I remember seeing him for the first time. I'd gone to St. John's. I used to go all over to play ball myself, and so we walk in the auxiliary gym at St. John's University, and Kevin Joyce, who went to Archbishop Malloy, where I went to. He was the rage in those days. He was like, one of the best players in New York City history, high school, and he was playing. And this guy is like staying with him and really giving him a hard time and scoring on him. And it was Stakem. It
Wow.
was Stakem, and he went to Holy Cross, and then he joined the hell of a team in Providence. But yeah, I'd never seen anybody play Joyce so well. It's like, whoa, this guy. But you play with Barnes and Ernie, you don't get the publicity that you probably would have if he'd gone somewhere else. But he did well. I think Ernie and he owned a bar for a while in
Okay.
Providence. Anyway, Barnes, I never really got to know him that well. He was, flaky guy. Really not my kind of guy that I wanted to get close to. But Ernie loved him. Ernie swore by him. They stuck by each other till the end. Ernie once told me that whenever they had a phone call, it would go something like this. I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah.
Ernie would do it justice, but it would start out with, Marvin would say to Ernie, how's the best passer in basketball history? How how's the greatest shooter going? How you doing? Yeah, I'm okay. How's the best rebounder and the biggest
Yeah.
intimidator? And that would be the introduction that they'd have. And so that told me a lot about how much they liked each other. And then Joe Mulaney, was coaching the team, and I got close to him. Nobody. I don't know if you know this. Whether you're a historian or not, but did you know that he played for Holy Cross's NCAA championship team?
I did not. No.
1947. It's something that you should, since you covered these, you should look it up. Now, not only
Absolutely.
not only did he play for that team, he started for the team
Oh.
and was one of their best players. And you know who played behind him and didn't get minutes? Bob Cousy.
How cozy. Wow.
So Joe
That's
Mulaney is
incredible.
playing ahead of Bob Cousy, and Cousy almost left the team to go to another school because he was angry that the coach at the time didn't give him the minutes. So it's funny. You read about coaching problems today with players. What was going on back when Naismith was starting it out? Somebody was angry at him for not getting enough
Yep.
time or something,
Absolutely.
and so Cousy wound up. The coach got fired and brought in a guy named Sheary, I think his name was, and I should know it, Buster Sheary, and Cousy to this day. I speak to him every once in a while, and he absolutely loved that coach, and so did Heinsohn. Heinsohn played for him too, and yeah, he even hired him when Cousy coached he was asked to coach the U.S. team against the Russians in the 70s. I'm not sure exactly what year. It was a 5-game series against the Russians, probably 73 after the Olympics,
Okay.
when all the controversy with Russia getting
Yep.
many chances to beat our team in 72. They had this tour, 5 games. Cousy coached, and he hired Buster to be his assistant coach. And Ernie played for him
Wow.
and won the MVP of that tournament. They beat Russia 3-2, and Ernie was the best player.